Hello, welcome back to Reads of an Apple. My name is Stacy. I'm here today to talk about the books that I would like to read in October. It's a lot, so we're going to try to rush through things quickly, succinctly. We will see what happens. I'm going crazy. When I was putting together my list, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm taking on too much, which is even more crazy because I have a lot of things that I need to get going on. Christmas presents. I have a couple final birthday presents I need to finish, especially one in the month of October. I'm currently sitting at, I'm in the middle of 2, but I'm currently sitting at 7 books for the month of September. So I don't know why. I think I'm going to read a whole bunch in October, but I have some ideas. I have some bingo boards and readathons planned, but I'm not going to push for blackouts. I'm going to push for bingos. So we'll see what happens there. So let's just jump into it. So first off, let's talk about book clubs. I have the Buzzing About Romance, their book club, the Buzzing Book Club. It is exclusive to Patreon. If you are a Patreon for their podcast/website, I will link their website down below. Buzzing About Romance is one of my favorite romance specific podcasts. I pretty much just listen to 3 now. So I'm just throwing that out there. But the book club book for the month is Rough by Renee Rose and Vanessa Vale. This is the first book in the Wolf Ranch series. It is a werewolf hero, which is perfect for, as you will see later, a lot of the other Halloween, October specific readathons happening. As of now, it's still free on Amazon. So if you're interested, Cowboy Werewolf, I'm intrigued. Then the other book club I have is the Ilona Andrews Readalong. We are currently in the middle of the Edge series. So for this month, the meeting as of now is on the 20th of the month. The next book is Fate's Edge. So this is book 3. So this is a 4-book series. This is one of their earlier series for sure. And this is a series of 4 books of interconnected standalones. So each book has its own romance. We met the hero in this book in book 2. I'm super excited to read it. I am loving this Edge series, which is super fun. You can see a lot of nods to later books series that they have, to like Kate Daniels, Hidden Legacy, but it's really fun to like go back to this earlier work and see what exactly is going on. And I can't wait to jump into this one. So that's super exciting. And that's it for book clubs. Just the 2 this month. So let's skip forward past readathons and let's talk about quarterly challenges real quick. I have 2 active quarterly challenges on the Goodreads. It's a Goodreads forum group, and it is the Romance Readers Reading Challenges group. I mainly participate in the quarterly challenges, but they have monthly challenges, they have seasonal challenges, they have all different kinds of challenges, so check them out. But I stick to the quarterly ones. So currently active is Page to Screen, and this is 31 prompts of romance books that have been adapted to TV and movies. Similar vibes. There's 31 total prompts. Like I said, I'm currently at 4 of the 31 done. I typically get this one done pretty quickly because a lot of the prompts, there's 2 or 3 options for each, in this case, book or movie that we're reading a prompt for. Also currently going is Read the Season Maltese edition. We are currently in fall or autumn, and this one will also run through mid to late December. I want to say it's December 23rd. Let me check my book. I did not write the end date down. Read the Season, December 20th. I was wrong. So that's good through December 20th. Now, if you are doing the extreme level 4, that's 119 prompts. My goal will be to hit level 3, which is read the season and then read 2 holidays. The way that this one works is, like I said, it's the Maltese edition. So we have the word autumn in Maltese, the language. And then we have, how many? 7? I think 8 holidays that are celebrated in Malta. And you basically read a book with the title starting, the author's first or last name starting, or the series name starting with each letter in the words. So, extreme level 119. My goal is to hit level 3 because I do not see myself reading 119 books with the holidays and everything coming up by December 20th. So my goal there is level 3, which should be doable. I just barely hit level 3 for the summer edition. So those are my 2 quarterly challenges I have going on. As for my yearly readathons, Guildathon is still going strong. I'm still team member. Things have quieted down, definitely for sure. I have to work on quarter 4 prompts, which is right around the corner, and get those up. But I'm excited to kind of wrap out and see what my final point is going to be, and see how well our team is going to do. I'm still participating in Romanceopoly. I've kind of petered off a little bit on that lately, but I have 29 of 39 of the prompts done. I haven't decided if I'm just going to go around the board and hit the ones I haven't gotten yet, or if I'm going to like roll and then instead of just landing where I am, keep rolling until I hit one I haven't, if I'll just roll and then just jump to the next one because things are getting low. But that should be doable. 10 books specifically for this by the end of the year should be doable. And then for 2023 Year in Eldia, the Adventure Together is the next prompt I have on my map, and that is to read a book with a map in it. So that should be doable. We'll see what happens. I'm thinking I might do a reread of either A Court of Frost and Starlight or A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas, because the second part of Silver Flames comes out in graphic audio this month. So I can read either of those via graphic audio, and that would be super fun. So there are those. As for new releases, typically I like to touch base on 3 new releases. However, I just filmed my quarter 4 new releases video, so I will pop that up there. Nothing has really changed. The only thing that has changed is, as happens every single time I talk about an Ilona upcoming release, the day I post the video or the day after I post the video, she moves up a release date. So in that book or in that video, I talk about the start of her new series, which is Ironheart, that comes out October 13th. It is now a week earlier, and it comes out October 6th, which is a good segue to take us into where we are going next, and that is Readathons. So I have a couple month-long readathons that'll go all month, and then I have a couple shorter ones. So speaking of Ironheart, it is perfect that it is moved up because October 1st to October 10th is the Monster Mash readathon. I am super excited for this. There are 2 different versions of the bingo board, like a normal version and a hard version. The normal version has some of the prompts repeated. The hard version has different prompts for the 24 spaces because this one does have a free spot. So here is the hard version. I'm going to attempt the hard version, but like I said, my goal is to get a bingo and not necessarily a blackout, but we will see. I have a humongous list for this, but we're not going to touch base too much on every single book that I have on my list. I want to highlight just a few, and the sun is going down, so give me a second to turn some lights on. And we have light. As one of my favorite movies, The Fifth Element, Aziz light. If I could change my Amazon speaker boxes to answer to the name Aziz, I totally would. Or if anything, maybe I'll make a routine so that when I say Aziz light, she turns on the light. Actually, I might have to do that because it cracks me up. But anyway, here's Monster Mash. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of the prompts, and then I'll touch base on books that I have on my list. So we have Gargoyle, Orc, or Succubus. The Succubus, when I do the ors, I'll say the second one is what's on this hard version. But I'll at least tell you what the normal easy version is. Undead, a monster, or why choose. Tentacles, ghost, or Mothman, which takes place on Halloween, or beast. Vampire, academic setting, tentacles, or 4 legs. Minotaur, ghost, demon/devil, or grim reaper. Shifter, academic setting, or multiple heads. Gargoyle, or ogre. Orc, takes place on Halloween. Demon, devil, undead, or minotaur. The one I said earlier was monster, not minotaur. Vampire, or jack-o'-lantern. Witch, or spider. And shifter, or snake. Now, I will say flat out, I'm doing the hardboard. Even if I complete every single square, I will only be able to fill 24 of the 25 spaces on this because I will not read a why choose. I've tried it. They're not my thing. I will not read a why choose. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. I don't read menages. I don't read poly. I prefer my romances to have 2 beings, we will say, because there's definitely going to be a lot of non-gendered creatures in the Monster Mash. So what I have done over the process of a couple weeks, let's be honest, it took a little bit. I have a document that I created. If you want if you want to see the document, I can send you a link. Oop, and I just closed it. I can let you know I have notes of books that I am interested in for every single prompt on here. Now, a lot of these I added to this list. I tried to put in the 200 page or lower. There is some that are kind of like the 2 to 250 range outside of a couple full-length books. I have a lot of ebooks, a lot of KU books on here, but I also wanted to throw out that some of the more full-length novels, I was thinking of maybe picking up via audiobook because that might be a little bit easier for me to do, but we will see. So we'll just go through. I have highlighted in orange on here the ones that I am like most intrigued in. And when I was going through my list, vampire's easy to hit, witch is super easy to hit, shifter's super easy to hit. I wanted to kind of push myself to read ones that I specifically haven't before. So obviously Wolf Wrench, I already talked about it. It's the Buzzing Book Club book. We'll cover shifter at the very least. I will say some of these also can cross. Like a lot of the monster specific prompts will also work for monster. You could also make it work for beast. What are some of the other ones? A lot of them could also work for takes place on Halloween. If it's a jack-o'-lantern one that usually covers both. We've got demon and devil, but we also have succubus or incubus, and those are also technically demons, so those would cover both. Technically a vampire is also undead, so you could knock out 2 spaces with that. Shifters would also technically kind of count as 4 legs because depending on their shifter, but like wolves, bears, cougars, things like that, they would count as 4 legs. They would also potentially count as a beast or a monster. I myself consider them more beast than monster, but you could really make this easier on yourself if you really kind of spread some of the more specific prompts to also cover some of the more vague prompts, or you can just go hog wild. So here's my list after rough for Gargoyle. Like I mentioned, Feather and Stone Book 1, Ironheart by Alessa Thorne is now going to be released during the Readathon, so I am hoping to pick it up very close to as soon as it releases, which is October 6th. So that gives me 4-ish days to read it. I love Alessa Thorne. I'm super excited. This is also a Gargoyles, the cartoon TV show inspired book. Her books are usually in the 200 to 250 page range. I will say that. And it's also like a Swan Princess retelling, I guess, or inspired by that as well. So I don't know. I love Alessa Thorne. If you haven't read her books, she has her Court of the Underworld series, which is Greek gods retelling. The first book is Asterion, so that would work for Minotaur. The second or third book is Medusa, so I think that would work as Snake, because Gorgon, she has a hair of snakes. Yeah, I love Alessa Thorne. I highly recommend her. So let us move on. For Undead, I specifically wanted to not use a vampire book or a necromancer book because I have read those. I did find a couple zombie romances. Obviously, out there is Warm Bodies, which was turned into a feature film. I want to say a few years ago, but it could be longer than that at this point. But I also found His Heartbeat by Kat Baxter. This is a KU book, a part of the multi-author book series Monsters Between the Sheets. 73 pages. KU, like I said, it's a zombie romance. So I think I want to try to pick up this one. For Tentacles, I have quite a list of tentacles. I have read tentacles before, but I wanted to pick up a tentacle because that's not something I read a lot of. And I want to go for Monster Girlfriend, book number 1, How to Get a Girlfriend. This is my Marie Cardinal. This is 115 pages. Alexa, dismiss. I have the ebook. I got this for one of the Stuff Your Kindle day things. This would also count for Witch, and this is also a sapphic romance, which is why I picked this one over the other tentacles I have, and that will pop back in later. For Mothman, I plan on picking up Cambric Creek book number 2, Sweet Berries by C.M. Nascosta. This one is just over 200 pages. It's in KU. I've read book 1 and 1.5, so I'm excited to see more in this series that's not just the Morning Glory milking farm stuff, to see how she does other things set in the same universe. I have a lot of witch books. Witches and Shifters are probably my 2 biggest lists, because a lot of these were, it also counts for witch, it also counts for shifter. But my plan is to full length wise, one of the books high on my list is to get back into Immortals After Dark. So we've got book 3, Wicked Deeds on a Winter's Night. This is a werewolf and a witch. So I'm hoping to pick this up. If I don't get it done during Monster Mash, I at least want to read this during the month of October. I want to get through at least this one in the series. The other witch one I'm looking at specifically is The Fae's Gamble by Farrell Dawson. I consider her a part of the Alessa Thorne CU cinematic universe. She has the same cover artist. I know they're friends with Molly, I think Tulis is her name, who's also on my TBR. And I know that they share a lot of their books with each other, and it seems like they have very similar writing style vibes. This has been on my list for a long time. There's like 4 authors. There's also like an Amy, and her last name starts with a K, and it's really long, and she has like a tarot series, which I'm also super intrigued by. But this one I specifically added to my list because it has an academia setting. I think the hero is a fae, but then magic left the world. But he's like a professor, and our heroine is working on like her doctoral thesis. And fae stuff happens. Book 2 also features a succubus, so throwing that out there as well as a possible for a succubus option. But I specifically added this book because it has an academia setting. And this one is just over 200 pages. It's 221 according to Amazon. And that one, like I said, so that one would be academia setting and witch. As for 4 legs, I went crazy. I was like, ooh, I could pick up another Griffin shifter because I've read that before. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to push myself and I'm going to find a Centaur book. I found a surprising number of Centaur books. I had 5 and I culled it down to 2 that I put specifically on my list. I think I'm going to pick up Sired by Steel by Olivia Fox. This is just about 200 pages. This is the first book in her Monster Mate fantasy romance series. So that's what I have for you there. As for multiple heads, there's a couple ways you could take this. A creature with multiple heads or multiple heads of the lower region. I was only able to find like one. I cannot tell you how many different times I looked for a Cerberus or fantasy romance, Cerberus retelling, Cerberus shifter. We need, if you are a monster romance author, if you are a fantasy romance author, Greek retelling romance author, throw me a bone. I guess we'll use that, throw me a bone. Not what I meant to go with, but that works multiple ways. We need a Cerberus monster romance book. Retelling? I mean, technically it'd be a Greek mythos retelling, right? Right. The bone also works because we're talking about, you know, sexy times in books, and also because it's a dog creature. So, you know, the pun works multiple ways there. But anyway, I was thinking of picking up The Dalwick Demon by Ashley Bennett. This is just over 100 pages. NKU also works for Demon, obviously. But this one is one of the options where there are 2 lower heads on the body. Okay, then we have for Halloween, Hot and Haunted. This is the first book in Cassie Mint's new series that are like Halloween based. I read her like Mafia Christmas books last year and I really enjoyed them. So I'm intrigued to read a different holiday romance set. This might also work for the ghost prompt. This is supposed to be like 56 pages, so quick and easy, one and done, possibly covering 2 prompts. Super intrigued by that one, but I might leave it for a readathon later on in the month. Then we have Spider. For this one, I am going to try to pick up Wheel of the Year, book number 1, which is the Mabon Feast, which is perfect because Mabon just happened. And this is by CM Nascosta. This is under 100 pages, KU. Super intrigued. Okay. Just a couple more. Jack-o'-lantern is next. I have read some Jack-o'-lantern, Headless Horseman novellas last Halloween and the Halloween before, but I was like, I'll throw one in. Jack's Head by Siggy Shade. This is just over 100 pages, NKU. A girl's on her way home. It's late. She runs into either the head itself or into the Headless Horseman or something and has to pay the toll to make it all the way home. Then the final priority book, I guess I would say, is to read a snake book, which is really pushing me because that is outside my comfort zone. I hate snakes. They're one of my biggest fears. I just cannot deal with them. But I have had Serpent's Touch by Marina Simcoe on my TBR since it released. This, now that I'm thinking, Gorgons, I believe this is a Gorgon Medusa type romance, but I know that it is a male Gorgon. And now that I think about it, that would also work for multiple heads because their hair is snakes and snakes have heads and you are a head. Gorgons would work for multiple heads. That just blew that prompt wide open in my brain. Okay, hey, fun. Found something fun. Okay, but anyway, Serpent's Touch, this is a duet. The second book is also out, but I'm super intrigued by this. It was a while. When I first saw this book promoted, it was like, ooh, we don't know what creature he is. I have since found out it is a Gorgon creature, but I have read like Alessa Thorne's Medusa retelling, and I've read a couple other Gorgon books, and I feel like that is easier for me to handle than like the Naga creatures. I don't think I could handle that, but I'm super intrigued by this one. This one is a little bit longer. Like I said, it's 260 pages, but it's on KU and I'm super intrigued. Now, just as kind of like a extra little toss in, if I get super into it, I might also try to pick up Immortals After Dark, book 4, Dark Needs at Night's Edge. This is Ghost and also a shifter, because it's one of the Roth brothers. Yeah. Well, is he a shifter? What is this one? No, Bowen McCreeve. What is Roth? Oh, those might be... I don't think he's a shifter. I know it's at least a ghost. I know the heroine is a phantom or a ghost or something like that. But if I get super in the mood, I might also try to pick up this book this month. But we will see. As for other readathons happening, let's go back to this other list here. We'll go over ones that last the entire month next. So we have Bang in the Night is back. It starts in September, but it goes till the end of October. Here is the bingo board. A lot of really fun prompts. This is the one that had the Sapphic prompt. I'm super excited for it. This is hosted by Jackie, who's on the same page, and B and her books. They have the But Do They Bang book club on Discord, and this is the 3rd year now that they've done a Bang in the Night Halloween bingo board, and I super love it. It's a lot of fun. Also, we have Falling into Fantasy Month 2. This is a September through September, October, November readathon that was created by XO Joe, who was one of my personal team leaders for the romance readathon that happened back in August. But this one is really interesting. She has a bingo board, but each prompt on the bingo board has a value assigned to it, and then there's a mini game board. And so when you complete that bingo prompt, you get to move your piece on the game board however many points it's worth. It's super simple. Even though I only read, I'm only at 7 books for September right now, I have been able to finish my bingo board. But it's super fun. The board game and the prompts and what's going on hasn't been posted yet for October, but I plan on joining it again. I think it's super fun. It's super low maintenance, which is great too. And there are some prompts where you can mood read and not just stick to fantasy, which is nice. Then we have the Who Dun It readathon. This is running for the entire month of October. There are 2 options. There is the full readathon, which is 13 or more prompts, or you could do the novella version, which is 4 prompts. This is mystery based, but the prompts are very vague. You can read only romance, like what I do, and participate in it. It is called, this version is called The Game Afoot. So what you do is you have to pick different things. So number 1 in the readathon is to choose your premise. So you'll have to read a book from the 4 setting options, the detective, the sidekick. Then we have the crime. So we choose 1 each for the scene of the crime, the victim, the murder weapon, and then we have the investigation. This is the one where it turns into 13 plus, because you can choose at least 1 each. So we've got witnesses and clues, suspects, and alibis. So that one you can read as many as you'd like, but you need to read at least 1 each for those 4. And then you have the solution, and this is 1 each for the culprit, the motive, and the revelation. If you choose to do the novella track, The premise and the different options have already been chosen for you, so you just have to read 4 books. So I'm going to just read normally. This one does have a limit of at least 100 pages, or if it's an audiobook, I believe. If it's an audiobook that's audio only and there are no page counts for an ebook or physical version of it, it's a minimum of 3 hours. But if it has an ebook, the minimum is 100 pages. So not all of my novellas that I have planned to pick up will work for this, but I should be able to get at least the 4, if not the full 13 or more. And I'm just going to apply things as they fit where they can as I read through the month. And then when I do my October wrap up, I'll talk about what my story ended up being, which I think will be super fun. And so that'll be like a lot of more creative work on the second half to see, or at the end of the month, to see what story I have inadvertently created is. Okay, and then my Craftathon, as I called it last month, we have Drills and Chills. This will go through the end of October 31st. I'm not sure if I'm going to start a new Drills and Chills canvas for October. I have done my September one and I did vlog it, so I will pop the video up there. I do still need to finish the witch that I started for Drills and Chills 2020, but I definitely plan on finishing that as soon as I can with some audiobooks, so I can get that displayed with all of my other Halloween decor when I put that up early October. And then the final readathon I want to chat about is the Novellathon. The Novellathon is coming back. I can't wait. Once again, they did a build your own bingo board. And this is 9 prompts. It runs from October 16th through the 22nd, so it's a week long, and it's once again hosted by Samantha, Rachel, Ava, and Tiffany. I will have everybody from all these things linked down below. And here's my bingo board. We've got retelling, set during autumn, read with a favorite fall drink, demons, shifters, BIPOC, cover with fall colors, cozy vibes, and vampires. So I will try to be using a lot of my giant list that I created for Monster Mash to pull novellas from that I didn't read for Monster Mash to work for Novellathon. The group book is Hollow by C.M. Nascosta. Now this is a novella that has this is a bind up of 2 Sleepy Hollow inspired novellas. One is Polly with 4 males or 3 males. I probably won't read that one. Like I said, I'm not a fan of poly, of multiple partners. But the other one is a female and the Headless Horseman, I believe. I don't know if he's considered male, but it's at least a female and the Headless Horseman. So I'll read that one for sure. As for other things I might pick up, we have the Hot and Haunted book 2 by Cassie Mint. I talked about book 1 earlier, Shiver Me Timbers. That will come out October 12th, so just before the readathon starts, so I might try to pick up that one as well. There are the small town romance shorts if I'm looking for more fall vibes. The first book, these are both by Elise Kennedy. The first book is Pumpkin Spice and Pour Overs. My Hoopla has the ebook for that. And then the second book is Apple Cider and Subterfuge. And that one, my Hoopla has the audiobook for. I did see there's a third one that seems like it's hot cocoa and something, and it might be more Christmas and not fall, but I might try to pick those up. The other thing I was also kind of thinking is I have the Crazy Sexy Ghoulish series by Gigi Andrew. I have read the first one. I feel like I read it for last year's Bang in the Night or the year before. I think maybe the year before. But I still have not read the other 3 books. So if I want to try to read some of my physical books, we've got book 2, Scary, Lovesick, Foolish. And this is actually a continuation of the couple we meet in book 1. But then book 3 is Jaded, Bearded, Wolfish, and then book 4, Geeky, Freaky, Clueless. These, the second ones are, well, I guess yeah, I guess the last three are definitely longer than the first one. This one's the first one. But they're still novella length. So I might try to pick them up if I'm also looking for something short and spoopy feeling. I wouldn't say spooky, I would say spoopy. I will say, from what I remember from Crazy Sexy Ghoulish, it either has low steam or no steam. I know that there is a kiss, but I don't think there's any full-on sex. So if you're looking for something that's not just monster sex, like we talked about for Monster Mash, this might be a good option. I enjoyed book one. I really liked it. I have them in physical because when I went to get the ebooks, the physical books were on sale and were cheaper than the ebooks. So I was like, I'll just buy the physical books. But I think they're super fun covers and they're perfect for the Halloween spooky vibes for sure. So these are also on my potential list for the month. And that's, I think, it. That's all I have. Maybe, possibly. Let's double check my list. Oh, and then we also have Shelby Taggart is back with a mini Fall in Love. This one specifically for the month of October. I'll pop it up here. And once again, I'll just be applying my books as I can for this one. Her only rule is it has to be romance. So that's mostly what I read anyway. But Shelby is doing mini seasonals, which is super fun and just something extra just to kind of keep track of. And it's fun to say I participated in it and post my final board at the end of the month and stuff. So I think that's it now. That's all I have. Let me know what your October reading plans are. Like I said, I feel like I took on too much, but I'm going to not focus on getting blackouts. I'm going to try to do a lot of audiobooks this month. Hockey also comes back this month, so I feel like I'm either going to be listening to audiobooks in the evenings or watching hockey, but you know, that's pretty par for the course. But yeah, I am hoping to kind of get back into reading more. I've definitely been able to pick up my reading with picking up audiobooks at the end of September. So I'm hoping to kind of take that into October as I start doing my holiday and remaining birthday crafting for the year. And just kind of get things, you know, figured out and really kind of set up so my holidays in November and December really I can make the most of this year. So let me know what you're excited for. If you're participating in any of these, if you're participating in any of the readathons, I have seen a lot of different readathons pop up. I tried to pick ones, though, where I could really just focus on romance and not thrillers or anything else because that's not my jam. So let me know what you're participating in, what you're excited for reading in October. If you'd like to just leave me an emoji, I mean, surprise, surprise, leave me something Halloween related. I'm going to say pumpkins, but you can do anything Halloween related if you would like. But otherwise, I'm going to stop blabbering at you. I will see you soon with another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.